This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When you use SAP Concur Solutions to automate your business finances, you'll be ready for anything. Except the new office dog running off with your lunch. With SAP Concur, you can be ready for almost anything. Take control of your business finances today at Concur.com.
What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost. Their designer quality frames start at $95, including prescription lenses, plus scratch-resistant, smudge-resistant, and anti-reflective coatings, and UV protection, and free adjustments for life. To find your next pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to find the Warby Parker store nearest you, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
Are you a lady of a certain age who enjoys solving murders from your couch and learning about the cultiest of cults? Little Miss Recap may be the podcast for you. I'm writer and editor Amy Archer, and I've created Little Miss Recap to have a space to chat with my best friends about my favorite shows. Little Miss Recap is a podcast that recaps, re-examines, and overanalyzes the crap out of some of our favorite stuff. Right now, we're covering Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, Welcome to Plathville, Forbidden Love, and House of the Dragon. And we're doing a Sister Wives rewatch and a My So-Called Life rewatch. Join us over on Little Miss Recap. You can find us on any podcast app or visit littlemissrecap.com.
Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Season 13, Episode 10, Moving Meltdowns.
Which could encapsulate a lot of this series in general. I think it's just a broad overview of the entirety of Sister Wives in one episode title.
This isn't a show about polygamy. It's a show about moving.
Moving and the problems that ensue.
I gotta tell you, it made me want to never move again.
I'm glad we've put down roots, sewed them to the bottom of our feets. Feets? Feetses.
Well, I mean, that was a Robin quote, so you're in the right mindset.
Meltdown. I don't think Meltdown is an accurate representation of what happened here, though, because that should be the name of the next episode for what actually took place. It seemed like a way more hectic mess on the next one than what we see here.
I gotta say, I was just thankful that this was a 43-minute episode.
It was a breath of fresh air, is what it was. But the editors were trying something new out of nowhere for the second to last episode of the season, where they were doing those whip transitions. Did you see that on the edits?
I gotta tell you, you kept saying that. I missed every single one of them.
It was driving me nuts. They kept doing it, and it was like, why did you sprinkle this in? Why are you trying new stuff now? You're throwing me off.
I'm glad that they ended up feeling comfortable with the sepia tone flashbacks, and that's what they've stuck with long term.
They found what works for them, and they're going to stick with it.
What is the description, according to TLC?
Kody sees the plans for his one giant polygamist house and loves them. But will his wives? Just weeks away from leaving their homes in Las Vegas, tensions run high. Robin presses Kody to settle down, and Gabe walks out.
It's the second time Robin has pressed him to settle down, huh?
Yeah, she forgot about that first one. The planting the tree. Setting down roots.
Oh, I was talking about getting married.
Oh, well,
right,
I mean,
so that's 3 times.
Moving to Vegas was very much establishing roots, where she was making it abundantly clear that she didn't want to move anymore after this. But then we've all forgotten that, and now we have decided to move to Flagstaff. No turning back. No turning back.
Are you just going to sing that every week?
Just sometimes.
And I'm just not going to get it every single time?
Yeah, you got to start joining in. On the chorus.
No, thank you.
Maybe not.
No, thank you, Daddy.
Well, let's hear the Carly episode rewrite description for this one.
Kody shares his blueprints to the Overlook Hotel with Michael and Nathan. The wives slowly realize they've created a huge clusterfuck. The triplets form a biker gang in retaliation for the move.
I mean, what else are you going to do? They're not listening. They know that you don't want to move to Flagstaff, and yet they are still forcing you to move.
Might as well get something out of it.
Yeah, let's see what we can get out of it.
A few announcements before we jump into the episode. The first is just a general update on season 19 of Sister Wives. I feel in my bones, y'all. There's going to be an announcement. There's going to be a trailer that drops. In fact, I am nervous that it's going to happen before this episode gets posted. And if it does, we will make an emergency announcement for you all. But I feel like September 15th is the date.
For the season premiere, the trailer that would be dropping, that could be any moment now.
It's given me anxiety because every year they end up dropping it after we have an episode come out.
It's tended to be a Tuesday evening thing just to mess with us.
The wives are popping up here and there. They're doing interviews. Mary, in particular, she's been busy posting stories on Instagram. She likes to post inspirational thoughts here and there. And we had one that just hit a little too close to home this past week. May your vibes shift the whole damn frequency of the room when you walk in.
Bring a heaviness. Well, maybe not specifically a heaviness. The drama, the energy that you carry, the tension that builds when you enter a room. It was a lot of negative things that Christine mentioned to Mary, so at least she kept that part out. Just focus on the message in general.
We are shifting the vibes. Is it for the positive? I don't think so.
That's up to you. It's whatever you want it to be.
Do you think that crossed her mind when she posted it?
I like to think that it did. I feel like Mary has a lot to unpack from that conversation still.
Well, that made everyone LOL. And we've got more advice to give. We have a legal wife voicemail from Jen.
Hi, Corey and Carly. This is legal wife Jen. And my question for you is, what kind of advice do you believe Kody Brown would give Gypsy Rose? I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Jen, for that wonderful voicemail. I feel like advice that Kody Brown would give Gypsy Rose would come in the form of a cameo that Ryan somehow was able to get a hold of Kody Brown, and then he submits that request out of retaliation more so than anything. And it would just be a lot of, hey, Gypsy.
You guys can't see Corey, but he's doing a peace sign.
I'm throwing the peace sign at you. It's
very aggressively.
Yeah, it's a very abrupt hand motion that goes along with it. Hey, Gypsy, Kody Brown from Sister Wives. It's actually funny. My daughter, Maddie, had a themed wedding. I'll have to ask her if you were the inspiration for the Gypsy wedding. Uh-oh, can't say that. Okay, no.
He would still say it.
It doesn't stop him, yeah. Anyway, I heard you were having some issues with your mom, but you got that sorted out. So that's good because I don't have any advice about mending relationships between parents and children. Ryan did mention, though, that you had your head shaved at one point. You're a lot braver than I am.
This is killing me. You did not share any of this beforehand.
So let me go ahead and run down my quick hair care routine for you. And then he would just proceed to do the curly girl method again.
And talk about himself for a while.
He actually does that in this episode, too. We already have him putting that on display within the first 5 minutes of the episode. So we'll get to that.
He has done his hair a lot throughout season, what are we on, 13?
Too much. Yeah, there's too much of an emphasis on the storyline. Maybe they were gearing us up for an eventual hair plug storyline that was going to be happening, a hair transplant that would take place. That would be some
It was
drama.
that or move to Flagstaff.
So it's a tough pick. I think there's still time for a hair transplant story for Kody Brown. But thank you again, Jen. I hope that cameo doesn't haunt your dreams the way that it haunts mine. And be sure to sign up for the Patreon if you like what you're hearing. Remember, every dollar you pledge makes us just a little bit more successful than my Sister Wife's Closet. Huge thanks to all of our patrons out there, except for the Basement Wife tier, though. Bunch of bums.
Don't call them bums.
They are. You're not pulling your weight.
And if you want to listen to more of us for free, you can do that on our other feed, Surviving Reality, where we are talking about Welcome to Plathville. We had a little mini episode about Gypsy Rose. We're planning to do some more fun things like that, some little one-offs. All right, let's get the pony in the water. We've got a short way to swim this time.
Yeah, this was, well, because it's already leading right in from the fake cameo that you just heard, is Kody is curly girling in the bathroom in preparation. He's kind of all over the place. Bathroom, closet, everywhere that Christine needs to be loved and is not being loved.
How could you have this intense of a hair care routine when you have to go from house to house? Pack your products with you?
I feel like it's a lot of product. Yeah, that first and foremost, that's the biggest issue. Does he have a caboodle that he puts everything in?
He must have caboodle for the diffuser.
The diffuser's a whole separate apparatus. He's explaining how this works and what it's doing and the intention that he has in using it, but I don't think he's getting those results because he's trying to say that it slowly dries it out while adding voluptuous curl and not frying his hair. But is that what we're seeing the results of after so many years?
It's time to shave. This is too much work. This is taking too much time. The thing I was most disturbed about was that his brother Michael and Nathan are already here. They're downstairs. They're just waiting for Kody to get down there. And so Christine has to entertain them in the meantime.
It's not even that he's doing his hair and that he's still getting ready for the day. The man is still packing his bags.
Yes. He didn't do anything the night before because he probably didn't sleep at Christine's.
Yeah, he was here at the crack of 7.
The crack of 7 a.m.
7:30. And he is not prepared for this at all. So you have two people who are downstairs waiting to leave because you've invited them on this trip to Flagstaff, which is just kind of like a press tour, a hype event. I don't know what to call this because he's trying to bring people who are important to him to go look at Flagstaff with the thought process that maybe they'll fall in love with Flagstaff and move there as well. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
Why are you inviting them to witness the cluster that is happening in your homes right now and be like, don't you want to do this too?
This could be you, if you're lucky.
So in the meantime, while he's getting all that done, Christina's cooking them breakfast.
And she's talking shit about Kody's big secret because he's been holding on to a secret, but he hasn't been sharing it with anybody. And so now the guys are tipped off to a secret.
And she knows. She knows that he's going to tell them. She's already suspecting it. That's why they're here. I couldn't get over Christine with the Ezekiel bread on the counter again because this is the second time I've spotted it. And that bread is $7.
It's probably only gone up since COVID. I don't think we've bought it since COVID.
We've never bought Ezekiel bread.
We bought Ezekiel bread in 2018.
That's very specific. What did we buy? One loaf of Ezekiel bread in
I
2018?
distinctly remember purchasing it, and then I did not like it for a multitude of reasons.
One being it was too expensive.
Well, that was top of the list.
See, that must have been trying to be fancy buying, what was it, $5, $6 bread at the time.
Or was it when you were eating paleo?
No, I can't eat bread.
No, because it was bread. Yeah. But is it made of oats? Is that why? It's made from manna from heaven?
Anyway, I was concerned that we have a house with a lot of people in it and we're trying to keep expenses down. We've spent all our money on this land and we're buying a very expensive loaf of bread. And we're feeding it to the guests.
And they're tiny loaves. I could go on for days about how much I dislike Ezekiel bread, but I won't get into that. I don't want you to open that can of worms. Let's make fun of Michael about wanting to be a polygamist because this is basically that TikTok sound of, don't be silly, Andrea. Everyone wants this. But what if I don't want to live like this?
That is what's happening here. That's actually really accurate.
Very much what's happening. But except Michael does want to live like this.
But does he?
He says he does.
He's got one wife right now, and they're looking possibly for wife number 2.
They're seeking, not finding, which means they could probably go on Seeking Sister Wife because that seems to be the trend for that show as well.
Let's do it.
You just date around and you don't actually marry anybody else.
Well, you can't take a square peg and try to force it into a round hole.
I'm worried about any hole that this is going in. I'm worried about all the holes.
I don't know how to transition away from that. But
That's fine. That's fine.
Christine talks about how she was really aggressive when she was looking to join the family.
Well, she is a freaky bitch.
She is. And she had to make her interest known because, as they've told us 150 times at this point, the women are the ones who have to make it known to the man that they'd like to join their family because the men just don't go all out looking for women.
But then Kody mentions how Christine was actually interested in someone else around the time that...
Who?
I don't know.
Who is this mysterious man? We need to find out more.
Plenty of suitors, just like Robin had. Plenty of options out there and available to her.
But she ended up picking Kody, and that's great because there was an eternal spark between them.
Boy, he's really changed his tune recently on that. So these are the types of clips, though, that I would want to bring up at the tell-all when he's saying, I never really cared for Christine at all.
She forced me to marry her.
Tricked me. She fooled me.
She dragged me down the aisle, essentially against my will.
That's basically what happened, according to Kody. Now. So these are the types of things where it's like, well, then what were you talking about here? And then just to watch him backpedal in real time, that's the content for the tell-all right there. But it's probably a miracle that Christine joined the family, because then we find out that Kody's pickup line is basically just talking about his existing wives. So anybody who's going to say that him and Robin are going to seek polygamy now, I think we can safely say that that's probably not going to happen.
He'll just talk about Robin, though.
Yeah, but I don't think when he talks about Robin, he's not going to have any interest in adding anybody else to that equation.
No, he's done with polygamy.
He's done.
Also, I thought Mary did most of the bartering.
The ordering?
The ordering, the bartering, all of the things.
The requests, the bidding.
The seeking, the finding. Mary should host Seeking Sister Wife.
That'd be interesting.
She has a skill in that. Will it work out in the end?
Do we need a host?
Perhaps not.
What would that be like? Would she be like, you're talking about almost having her as like an expert from Married at First Sight, but having her go and visit the couples or the families?
No, because I don't think she would give helpful advice.
I don't think so either.
But maybe it could be like a dating show where there are like 3 contestants.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's more of like a game show setup.
That, or she's going out, like, for example, the scene where we had the Ryan family going out in the bar and just approaching random people. That would be where Mary can coach them.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get that coaching, though.
She wants to be a coach.
When you said she's going out, I thought you were going to say she's going out with whoever's left over who didn't get picked. She's going out with the scraps.
Or whoever they approach who then is like, I'm not interested in living polygamy.
I'd really rather not. Monogamous it is then.
You just moved up to the top of my dating roster.
Leave it to monogamous Mary.
Somewhere through this conversation, Kody starts miming.
He's trying to get Nate's attention and let him know, hey, we have an appointment. We have to be somewhere in Prescott, Arizona. I don't know how far Prescott is from Vegas. Let me goog. Oh, God, the Kody cameo came up on my tab. It scared me. It's about a 4-hour drive.
Oh, my God. I couldn't sit in a car for 4 hours with Kody Brown. Think they're going separately? That would be funny. The family doesn't want to take a car with him, and neither do his friends or his brother.
Nobody does. The real kicker here being they definitely detoured because Prescott is not on the way to Flagstaff. Flagstaff would be kind of a straight shot across the highway right over from Vegas. And Prescott, you actually have to get off of that highway and go south for a good little while. So it ends up being like another 2 hours to get back up to Flagstaff because there is no road that goes directly from Prescott to Flagstaff. You have to go
fun
north and east or east and then north. So
I feel like people really didn't need to know that level of detail, but
I'm just saying.
But now you know.
You're right up in it now. This
just, of course, is not a very well thought out plan. Although we didn't see them go to Coyote Pass. He just said they were doing that.
No, I think they were. This is like a partial moving thing. He probably did like a flyby to show them the mountain because you gotta look at that mountain. I think this was a trailer full of crap that he was dropping off at Robin's rental because he mentioned that later when he was dropping stuff off. It just felt like home.
Oh yeah, of course.
So this is like preliminary move stuff.
Of course, he's helping her.
Yeah.
Well, she's the only one who has a place to go.
This is true for right now.
I'll give that one to her.
Technically, well, Janelle has a place, but it's fully furnished.
Yeah, she's just throwing everything in the trash.
She's moving like a pro.
Well, he's trying to keep this a secret that they've got to leave now because then Christine would start to wonder, like, why? Do you have an appointment at Coyote Pass?
Kind of. Not really, though. So then we finally make our way back to Dawn King's, not Don King's.
Donking.
Donkey?
Donking.
Donkey footage? Don King footage?
The architect of the century.
Well, is she she's not an architect, is she? She's a draftsman? Draftswoman?
Isn't that an architect?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
What the
I got to tell you,
difference is.
we did get a correction last week, though, when I thought, what the fuck did she just start drawing with the circles off the...
Newark
No,
Airport.
That is apparently a starting point for architects.
Well,
She was using an actual strategy before coming up with this, a technical detail that we would miss because I don't know anything about being an architect.
hub and spoke. It also lets me know that there was no additional thought given to Newark Airport. They just started there and ended there.
Stop harping on Newark Airport.
I have qualms with Newark.
You say they could put a food court in the middle of the house. That is what they did. That is what they did. All right, where are we?
Well, that's one of my problems with Newark is that there's different food courts, too many separate food courts, and I don't like it.
To everyone else, this is a task. But to you, this is opportunity.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the Coach Prime Moto G5G for $29.99 at boostmobile.com. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. Moto G5G for $29.99 when you switch with a new Unlimited Plus or Unlimited Premium plan activation. Online only. Taxes extra. All prices, fees, features, functionality, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit boostmobile.com for details.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Hi, this is Jonathan Fields, host of The Good Life Project, where each week I talk to listeners about investing in their future by increasing their own vitality. But when it comes to those financial goals, whether it be saving for a home renovation, growing your child's college fund, or travel, life can make it difficult to stay the course. By working with a dedicated Merrill advisor, you get a personalized plan and a clear path forward. Having the bull at your back helps your whole financial life move with you. So when your plans change, Merrill's with you every step of the way. Go to ml.com/bullish to learn more. Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do? Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC.
It took a lifetime to find the person you want to marry. Finding the perfect engagement ring is a lot easier. At BlueNile.com, you can find or design the ring you've always dreamed of with help from Blue Nile's jewelry experts who are on hand 24/7 to answer questions, and the ease and convenience of shopping online. For a limited time, get $50 off your purchase of $500 or more with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com. That's $50 off with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ACAST and use code ACAST at checkout.
Dawn unrolls the plans.
Unfurls the plans.
And did they know that they were coming here to look at plans of the house? Because Michael's first question is this your house?
It felt like producer-fed lines for stuff. I feel like they knew.
Okay.
They had a general idea, but then they have to explain it to the camera because this is the first they've heard of it, technically.
Kody answers like he's not even sure, and he goes, yeah, this is our house.
My house.
My house.
Because a lot of things become my.
Let's not commit to anything yet, because there are other people who need to give their opinion about this.
I feel like this is just a monument to Kody's narcissism on full display, because this is just dreams of a large compound that he's building on land where everyone will come back from his life to continue to worship him for the rest of his life.
I don't think this is his dream, though. I think this was Robin's dream sold to him, and he bought into it. We'll talk about it more throughout the episode.
Okay.
Which actually, Robin butts in at this point. They're on the couch, just all the women. And she says to the other wives, you know, my parents were here and Kody brought up something about like living in one house.
Something that she overheard while her parents were in town. Pretends like she has no idea what this is, but she is so bad at acting. You can tell when she's acting.
I've never done it before. Would it work?
What's that like?
She is trying to feel them out. She wants to figure out what their argument against it is going to be so that she can then go give that information to Kody so that he can proactively figure out how he's going to argue against it.
Have to get out in front of that. We have to know what our talking points are going to be so we can get Kody prepared for that debate.
And of course, Christine's the first one who butts in about how they would need their own turrets, essentially, like a castle with their own wings.
Okay, Christine points out that she has made jokes about having a castle with 4 turrets. Jokes. She's made jokes. Those were jokes.
Don King built it.
And now they have become reality.
And soundproof walls. She did mention that as well.
Robin brought up soundproof walls too, and that was a big talking point between Kody and Dawn last week.
Well, and Janelle then was like, yeah, definitely would need the soundproof walls for my very loud children.
Very loud, long pause children, because nothing else loud is happening for her.
We did see Maddie give birth in her house.
Oh, yeah.
Although I don't think that's what's going on a regular basis.
Soundproof walls don't help when you have microphones on. It's not going to save me, the viewer, from any of that.
Kody's very excited looking at this because the communal area is very large. They've got the kitchen, the dining room, the living room, and it has now become known as his place.
He likes it because it's gigantic. It's so big, which makes him feel big in a lot of different ways.
I have to ask, if the whole point of this section of the house is that no wife will have ownership over it, I want to know who is going to clean it, who is going to stock the fridge and the pantry, who is going to do all of the things that need to take place in this section of the house, because I don't think that it's going to be Kody.
You don't think it's just going to devolve into a gross bachelor pad with a mishmash of random snacks and just trash and garbage everywhere? It's going to turn into a college dorm room, communal space at community college.
I wish they had done this just so we could see him then want to decorate it because it's his space. I want to put my things in my space. It's the only part of the house that is mine. All of his books that were in Christine's garage.
The books. My library. I don't know anything else about Kody that I can think of what he would put in this space, aside from the obvious answer. The pew-pew machines.
Pew-pew. I know, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Antique pew-pews.
A lot of those, probably. Because again, they have to be big, though. Very big. We need big things in this big space. Big's what we're going for.
They're very impressed because this is Dawn's first Plig house. She's never done this before, but she has knocked it out of the park. She spent a lot of time thinking, if I was being forced to do this and I was a polygamous wife, how would this house need to be structured so that I could tolerate my daily life?
Maybe I can build it like a prison. So we have cell block 1 over here, and then that's just part of the larger compound. And as great of a job as Dawn is doing, that's not going to stop Kody from trying to take some credit for what's happening here. Am I nailing this, guys?
You did say that. You didn't do anything.
Are my plans coming together here the way that we would expect it to?
I did like that Nathan and Michael had some actual feedback because they're looking at this and they're seeing one front door and they're seeing one entrance and exit to the garage.
I think the garage is the big point because the main entrance, that's one thing of the front door essentially, but then it's basically an exaggerated foyer where you have individual houses to...
That's very fancy.
Well, we've been watching the Olympics. They are in France. So each individual wing, as it were, has its own entrance as part of that. So the front door, the main door, not really a big deal. The garage, however, the steps down to the garage, there's only one way in and one way out.
And the concern is not in the event of a fire that we'll need to be able to exit and we can only go through one way. It's just that they're going to have to cross paths and see each other and remember that you have other wives.
Does that not happen in the cul-de-sac at any point when you look out your front door or if you back out of the driveway?
What about in Lehigh when you had one house with one driveway? I mean, I know there were different sections in the house, but you had one area that you parked your cars. I'm more concerned about that. How do I make sure that nobody parks in back of me?
Is there assigned parking spaces in the garage?
There would need to be.
There has to be. There would have to be.
We never got to like the real intense conversations about how this house would work.
Wasn't there an elevator at some point? Or am I mixing that up with Barbie's dream house?
That was Mary's dream house.
Mary's dream house.
Remember, she had an elevator in her rental.
And the water fountain structure that scaled 3 stories.
It was a whole mall.
It was.
Especially once you put the LuLaRoe clothes in there on the mannequins.
Couple of racks were rolling them around here. But yeah, that was when her and Kody were having that heartfelt discussion of looking around saying, how could we have saved money on this move? As I look over my shoulder at 6,000 square feet.
I was really disturbed through all this because I could not keep my eyes off of the fact that Kody had his arm across the back of Dawn's chair while she was sitting in it.
Well, he was standing, so he's looming over her too.
He was?
Wasn't he?
I don't know. He had his arm. I thought he was sitting in a chair next to her, and then he had his arm like across the back of her chair.
Okay, if he's sitting next to her and has his arm behind it,
either way, the arm is on the chair.
That makes me more uncomfortable though. If he's seated at the same level and has the arm around, standing behind looming and leaning, that makes it make more sense because then
no, it doesn't make sense. Let's have everyone have their own personal space. We're our bubble. He needs to go talk to Truly about personal space.
He needs to learn about personal space from Truly, is what you're saying.
Yes, you barely know Don King. Don King barely knows you.
I feel like I've known Don King for years.
They're looking at the elevation because they got through the floor plans. Is there much to say about that? Not really.
No, it's a hand-drawn sketch. I feel like this is the point where then a builder comes in and says, you can't do that, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that, and just puts red X's all over everything.
Well, the impressive part is that when they look at the elevation, which is essentially like what the house on the exterior actually looks like, it is not just a bunch of square boxes.
It doesn't look like my Sims house. I'm very impressed because when I ran this through my simulator, my construction simulator, my house looked pretty shitty. I'm not going to lie.
So hopefully the fact that it's not just a bunch of squares or rectangles is going to make the wives go, wow, this house is so pretty. I want to live in it, despite all of the things that I hate about living in one house with my sister wives.
Is Darcy and Stacy moving?
I miss them. When are they coming back?
Wow. What an elevation.
All right. Well, first challenge completed.
Now cross your fingers. Let's hope the wives like it.
They kind of just left it at I'll call you, Dawn, when I find out if this is actually going to come to fruition.
Stay tuned for details. Yeah, it's just Kody's already envisioning large family gatherings in his part of the house, of course. That's the only part that matters now.
Oh, so at one point in time, he wanted to be the facilitator
Christmas
of family connections.
He wanted Christmas tree. That was the other kicker, was he's picturing Christmas here. The man who was on the verge of canceling Christmas indefinitely forever when Robin joined the family is now envisioning putting his Charles Dickens displays. That's what else he would put all over the place.
Those are Robin's.
Well, it becomes a shared dream when you're a hive mind.
Need a holiday gift that will keep her sparkling all year long? Blue Nile, the original online jeweler, has experts on hand 24/7 who can help you find the perfect piece. Beyond that, Blue Nile makes the gifting experience easier than ever with guaranteed free shipping and returns, as well as a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Right now, get 30% off jewelry at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com for 30% off. BlueNile.com.
Hi, this is Farnoosh Torabi, host of the Webby-winning podcast, So Money. If you're aiming for a goal, be it saving for a house, growing your family, or retiring, life makes it difficult to stay the course. But with a dedicated Merrill advisor, you get a personalized plan and a clear path forward. Having the bull at your back helps your whole financial life move with you. So when your plans change, Merrill's with you every step of the way. Go to ml.com/bullish to learn more. Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do?
you. Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC.
Holiday magic is in the air, and DSW's got all the shoes to make your season extra merry. Believe, you've got parties to attend and lists to check twice, so DSW is taking care of the details, like gifts to make their eyes all aglow, styles that bring joy to your world, brands everyone wants, like UGG, Nike, Birkenstock, and more, and deals to make your budget bright. Find the perfect shoes for you and yours at a DSW store near you or dsw.com.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Indecision. Overthinking. Second-guessing every choice you make. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Beige on beige on beige. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
Back in the sack, everyone is stressing about packing, and the kids still upset about moving. Nothing has really changed.
We're 2 weeks out from the move, and Christine is trying to take a gentle parenting approach to the move with Truly this time because she still feels bad about the flea-high move when she forced Peyton to pack up all of his toys and then they just left them at that house because they had to make room for essential items, not his useless toys. So she's trying to make up for that.
That was pretty shitty.
It wasn't great, but I understand the necessity of what was taking place. But to convince...
The best move they ever had.
For Kody to say in the same episode or within the span of an episode, man, that was the best move we ever had in our entire lives. And then to dig through all of the horrible things that took place as part of that move, maybe it's not something that we're still going to put a feather in our cap over.
She mentioned that she's been packing Truly's things while she's at school. Yes. Why is that a 7-year-old child's responsibility? Is that how old she is? That's just a guess. I'm not good at guessing the ages of children based on their appearances. She's a small child. It's not really her job to pack all her own stuff. That's my opinion. Can she help with, let's go through your things and see if there are things that you want to get rid of to prepare to move? But it does seem a bit traumatic to make a child pack all of their stuff into boxes.
Well, especially if you're going to tell them, hey, pack up all your stuff. That's what's going to Vegas. And then...
Leave it?
They packed it up. They've gone through the effort of actually making sure that all your stuff gets in the boxes. You taped them closed. You brought them out to the truck, and now they're throwing them back in the house. Big problem.
That's what she's got going on at her house. Over at Mary's, they've got a last-minute change of plans.
Did you like the footage of Kody moving in between here, too? As there was a little interjection on there, but Cody's in full moving mode. He's got his headband. He's got his moving gloves. Not his moving denims yet. He didn't rip those out.
No, those are for the day of the move.
Right. Yes. He's going to have to drive in sweaty denims the whole way. Jump in the truck right after, and then he's good to go.
Gross. So I guess that was what Mary was going to do. She was going to do that for Leon and Audrey. They were going to move to Chicago, but all of a sudden they're in the kitchen and have some news to share with Mary.
Leon and Audrey are breaking it down here. It turns out Audrey's mom is going to be helping them move to Chicago instead of Mary. And Cody's trying to tell Mary, count this as a blessing, wash your hands, and walk away.
A blessing that I truly believe he had a hand in making come into fruition.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that was a conversation between Kody and Leon.
Oh, yeah. I totally believe that Kody has been bothering Leon about this for weeks now because you're an adult. You can move yourself. We need to go as a family.
Your mom has so much other stuff to be doing right now, and her focus is fixed on you
Leon even was it Leon or Audrey who made a comment about how Mary is distracting herself from what she actually needs to do by helping them?
I think that was a Leon assessment. And Mary took offense to that. But Mary's first questions were, are you mad at me? Are you punishing me? She laughed like she was joking, but I don't think she was joking.
No.
Because you have to think within the backstory of what's going on with them, they had a rocky relationship as part of the whole catfish stuff. We're still not really past that.
No, it's actually shocking that Leon wants Mary to help.
So to now go back and tell Mary, hey, actually, we don't need your help with this, that's just devastating to Mary because she has to feel at that point, great, nobody needs me anywhere.
And what do you think Mary's going to do? She's going to be in that house all alone, packing her shit by herself, and Kody's not going to come over and help. Her sister wives aren't going to come over and help. Is anyone even going to check on her? Nope. We know what happens when she gets to Flagstaff and she's sleeping on the floor.
She's bouncing from rental to rental. She moves a couple extra times for good measure. And then she doesn't have any furniture set up for months at a time.
It's even more annoying because the whole let's move together plan is stupid.
It's not beneficial. It's not working out.
Janelle is the most relatable at this point because she's looking around. There's a lot of shit left to pack. And she's reached the point in the move where she's just going to throw everything out.
She's hit that threshold of the move, that particular part of the move where you just consider, maybe I'll just throw everything out. I'll start over.
Well, you do it. You start throwing things out that don't fit in boxes that are harder to pack. And then all of a sudden you get there and you're like, wait.
I thought I could have sworn I had this thing somewhere at some point.
I got to tell you, we don't have an ironing board anymore.
We lost it along the way.
Do I remember what happened to it? No.
I don't think we ever had a full-size ironing board, though.
No, we had a mini one.
It was the little tiny one that you could go on the table.
Still doesn't fit in a box.
I remember one apartment that it was at. I don't remember it being at the second apartment. Didn't fit in a box. Didn't make it.
She's got other problems, of course. Gabe still hasn't changed his mind about moving. But luckily, they're just too busy to deal with any of that.
We're just going to keep packing, focus on the move, and push all that way, way down. Don't want to think about it. Don't want to address it. Meanwhile, over at Robin's house, she wants to pack everything while talking about everything and addressing everything.
And she wonders why she's exhausted.
She has the most stuff to pack. So when she does complain about packing, I can understand her complaints. But also, let's maybe consider throwing some things out. Let's take the Janelle Swedish cleaning method.
No. Robin's still getting deliveries from QVC.
That's probably what the problem is.
More is coming in. At least she could just keep those things in the boxes that they were shipped in.
Amazon's coming.
She has a live-in nanny who is here to help take care of the kids while she can get the packing done. She has teenagers who are able to help her. She has Kody, who is here all of the time helping her. So I don't really feel that bad.
Kody is in the process of helping her pack stuff up in their living room. And there's just something poetic about them having this conversation taking place between them under a ladder. There's just something about it. It just holds a little bit deeper meaning here.
A little stitious?
I'm not superstitious, but a little stitious, yes.
She is harassing Kody about how he needs to make sure that this is the last time that they ever move. This is a permanent situation.
She's pouty. She's grumpy. She's sad. Just the thought of Kody mentioning future owners of this Vegas house is putting her into a whole mood. Brat summer.
Different.
Different.
I find it irritating that she is harping on the fact that she doesn't want to move ever again because there are other people involved in your relationship.
Needs to be a caveat there. I don't want to move again unless it benefits me further. I think that's always the asterisk at the end of that sentence for Robin when she says it.
It's just like there are other people who are involved who, if their opinion isn't that they want Flagstaff to be the last place that they ever move to, then why do you get to trump the conversation? Why do you get to be the one who decides what happens next?
And this is where Robin's going into great detail about Kody's big plan, about buying all this land for all the kids to come back to and everyone to move there and eventually settle there as part of this ultimate final destination for all of them in the family.
I'm confused. I thought that was the point of the cul-de-sac.
That was. She's describing the cul-de-sac. I guess the only other thing here is that you don't have land for your kids to all build their casitas on. But if you really needed that, I'm
Christine
sure
and Mary are going to move out.
Well, and
Janelle's going to move out. You're going to have a whole cul-de-sac to yourselves pretty soon.
Pretty soon. And I mean, yeah, it's like they can live nearby. Like Maddie lived right down the road, Maddie and Caleb. And so that was a pretty good setup. Aspen was living in Vegas. Aspen and Mitch were there for a while. So it's just...
Most people don't need to live on a compound to consider themselves living near their family.
You can be close in proximity without being on the same piece of land.
It's just disturbing because he is trying to recreate Wynn's ranch.
I don't know if he realizes it, but I feel like that's what's happening.
Or is Robin? I still think this is a Robin thing.
It does. It smells of Robin.
Or at least the two of them like it. A little sulfury.
Little sulfur from her cloven hooves.
That's kind of it for them, right? Then we get into the conversation with the triplets. We got to gather them together to talk about the move because all we do is check in with everyone about moving.
This is another pointless conversation. What are we doing? Kody is asking Gabe, Aurora, and Gwen about what do they think about the move to Flagstaff. I think it's happening.
Is it though?
I think because a lot of this stuff,
you guys need to be prepared.
A lot of our stuff is packed up right now. So I'm pretty sure it's happening.
Well, the biggest tension point during this conversation is that Christine hasn't closed on her house yet.
If it falls through, they're going to lose some money, but also, forgot to mention Christine wouldn't have a house and they wouldn't have any place to live. That's secondary though. We would lose some money.
So it seems like it's kind of an issue that you might not have anywhere to go, but you're still going to move, right? Even if you don't have a place to go to?
Well, yeah, you'll just find another rental. God will provide that rental.
Or you can stay in a temporary rental. And so you can move all of your shit multiple times.
Well, that's where Christine was drawing the line. She's like, if we rented somewhere, I would have to live somewhere that's furnished because I'm not going to unpack everything to then pack it up again and move it to wherever we're going.
Yeah, throw some air mattress on the floor.
All you need is a mattress and a shower.
Mary knows. That's all she had.
For a while.
Nobody's coming over to put her furniture together.
Oh, man. Yeah, that is a Kody remedy.
He didn't give a shit.
Where she was complaining and he was probably like, I don't know what the big deal is.
As he sleeps in his fully assembled bed at Robin's house.
Oh, my God. In the She-Ra Chateau.
Things have not changed that much in terms of how the kids feel about Flagstaff.
Why are you asking at this point? He's just trying to assess who has gotten on board and is excited about this now because it is happening. We know that.
What does it matter what their attitudes are about it? Because they're going regardless.
Gabe hasn't even seen Flagstaff yet.
No, and he's like, I think it's pretty cool. He's being completely facetious and it's lost on Kody.
Yeah, he didn't pick up on that at first. And then Christine was asking more questions because they were like, well, how do you know that you like it if you've never been there?
I have no choice but to like it.
It's because I am choosing to like it and I have no choice.
Which is actually what you wanted me to do. And now I'm doing it and you're questioning it. So I'm starting to feel a little bit like Mary.
Maybe Gabe and Mary should have stayed behind in Vegas. Just throwing it out there. Could have been a thing. That could have been a sitcom. There's a lot of different spinoffs that we could do this season.
You know what would really help though? I think that I would adjust much better to Flagstaff if I had a motorcycle.
I think that would help me rise in popularity very quickly if I was the junior at the high school who would be riding up on a motorcycle. Maybe he could borrow Ethan Plath's Wolverine jacket. That would really complete the ensemble.
He made a mistake bringing this up in front of Gwen and Aurora, and Isabel was there too. Not a triplet, but she's here for the convo. And all of a sudden, they all want a motorcycle as well.
She's here for the motorcycle now too, yeah. Whether she knew it or not.
I know you had strong feelings about Aurora in the scene.
This part, okay, so when Aurora starts chiming in, because Isabel made the joke that she was the first to ask for a motorcycle, which Gabe is taken aback by because he literally was the first to ask just now in this conversation. But then Aurora has to jump in and declare to everyone that she's been asking for a motorcycle since she was 5. I hate to break it to you, but all pencil sketches aside, you were asking the wrong dad.
Does it count if you were asking your original dad?
Spiritually asking Kody for a motorcycle since the age of 5, not going to hold up.
Well, we all know who got one in the end. Not a motorcycle, but a form of a bike.
Okay, so I hadn't seen this scene yet, but then immediately what came to mind was the fucking Christmas with the motorcycles at Robin's house for Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna, and, well, eventually Saul and Ari once they get their licenses. And
well, I was going to say once they learn to balance.
I don't know. They're iPad kids. We're concerned. And it's just,
These kids are starting to stress Kody out.
Kody has a nice little freak out on the couch. And he actually startles Christine, too. This is why she was afraid to leave him.
It was frightening. He devolves into Jack Nicholson.
I'm still trying to pack bags. Crazy's coming.
That was foreshadowing.
That was the truth. That was an honest...
Is the land in Flagstaff possessed by spirits?
No, I think it's just prairie dog plague settling in and just saturating his brain. The mood swings, the erratic behavior.
He was just there again. We got a fresh dose.
Yeah.
Prairie dog dirt.
That's what's going on.
And he must be crazy because then he tells Gwen that if she's going to be mature and accept the move and have this positive attitude, that she just might be the first one to get a motorcycle.
While she's standing right next to Gabe. So he's going with his traditional parenting method of rewarding whoever is
obedient,
the most brainwashed, unquestioning, unwavering, blind loyalty to him. That is what he rewards. So Gabe storms off. He's had enough of that. I think I'm just going to go home now. Seriously, though, thanks. Anyway, bye.
We don't explore that any further.
Oh, no. Kody doesn't get up.
No.
He doesn't go address that with Gabe. He doesn't ask anything. He laments to Christine that, well, he's never going to get a motorcycle at that rate if he's just storming out of here.
Making me deal with this BS drama.
Well, he was referring to other things as BS drama. He started to chime in with a couple different other examples for that. So he wasn't trying to call this BS drama.
I think it was one of the pieces of drama that he's having to deal with at this point.
I would suspect that he would have some tied up in there.
He just never gets a break. He never gets given an easy move.
Why are moves always stressful? First of all, it's because it's your family that's involved. Plus, you add all these other stipulations that add it more complexity, way more complicated than it needs to be, of trying to move all 4 houses at once. Yeah, that is just crazy. That's dumb.
Well, and that's where we're leaving them because they're 2 weeks away from the move and they're all exhausted already. Christine doesn't have a house to move into yet. Gabe's upset. He's spending his time with his friends instead of helping Janelle to pack.
I think Cody's more upset about that. Cody's getting upset because he doesn't have a daddy Logan to manage Janelle's house for him while he's moving everybody else.
This may be Cody's breaking point. Is this where he snaps?
It's one of many times when he snaps.
Next episode, the Brown family is finally moving to Flagstaff. Moving day is chaotic, and the dream they are chasing is becoming a nightmare. There are rays of hope, but mostly tears, as they face an uncertain future and leave so much behind.
It looks like complete chaos, and everyone is pushed to the brink at different points. So I feel like the next episode is going to be a good one.
Oh, we love a Brown family moving episode.
Can't get enough.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next time.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.